It says we're live every time.
Oh my God.
Every time.
So much faster than I thought.
So much faster.
Every time it fools me. And we're actually on time today, like 9:30.
We're on time, like not even a minute late. Look at that.
That's exciting. Welcome everybody to the Mid-Geek Crisis. Sipping some beer out of a can, it looks like.
I know. We're going with cider today.
Alcoholic beverage out of a can. There we go. Flood orange, is that what it's called?
Blood orange. Blood orange.
I was like, flood orange seems really inappropriate.
Brought to you by Bishop's Cider Company out of Austin, Texas.
I'm drinking ginger flavored seltzer water. I grabbed it thinking it was the lime, so here I am.
I would be confused if it was lime too. Looking at that can,
hit the can. I'm drinking. It's actually better than I thought. So
does it burn a little because it's ginger?
You know, I think this was made in a plant named ginger because there's no ginger in this.
Like, the ginger plant was next door. The air might have come in and touched the water,
like wafting the ginger in through the window. I don't know. There isn't much of a ginger taste, not like the lime or the cherry or anything. Anyway, we're talking about.
Yes. Let's kick this off the right way. Ready? Let's go.
So did it play all the way through for you? Because it froze for me, for the record.
No, it played all the way through for me. That's weird.
Awesome. It froze for me.
Did it freeze for anybody? Well, whatever. It played all the way through.
I can see you dancing off screen. So yeah, I knew it played. Calling Joe out as he's the only one who has the music. No, it's I like the intro, so I was disappointed when it froze up.
I've never been here for the starter episode. This is new intro. It's been up for a couple of weeks now. I think 3 weeks or so, give or take.
Yeah. Welcome, Vagabond. Thanks for joining.
Vagabond. Welcome, Rolls. Adam,
welcome.
Episode 86 of the Mid-Geek Crisis. My name is Joe, the Afro Man.
I'm cautious.
86 episodes. It's always great to hear anything that high. Period.
Yeah, except the temperature, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, except the temperature.
It's hot up here in New York. I'm not appreciating this humidity.
So let's kick this off with what we saw on Friday, something that I totally forgot about. I had been reporting that it was on the 27th because my brain said it was the 27th for some reason. And then Friday, I'm all like, I took the day off. I'm like in my undershirt, like, what's going on? I check my phone and they're like 5 minutes to the Xbox event. I'm like, I kick on my computer. I'm like, let's get this going live. Let's go live. And sure enough, we had an Xbox event.
So I missed it. Tell me about it. What's the deal? Thanks for joining us in the streamer, Kendo.
This is going to be very one-sided because you didn't watch it. But I will say that I am planning on going live tomorrow with a buddy of mine to kind of do a rebuttal on this.
Nice.
My buddy Steve.
What is he, a PlayStation fan?
He said his expectations were a little higher than mine, and he was disappointed.
Well, I mean, the coverage I read was sort of like they just went a different way, right? So,
right,
it's like Sony's playing the last year's console war, and kind of Xbox like, we're not a console war, we're not interested in that. We're a service, and this is the services will be provided.
Right. So that's been the weird like. I don't want to defend any company because there's no need to defend corporations, right? That's a big thing that we talk about here on this show.
Nope.
But I will say that Microsoft has done things in a very different way the past few years that has been pleasing for the aging gamer.
Yeah,
is that the best way to put it? Like, I feel like I'm older.
A lot of games, yeah.
I'm getting a lot of content for very little money, and I can't.
And I'm getting it easy, right? It's not like I have to struggle to get any of this content. It's just there for me to download whenever I want it. If I feel like shopping, I go and shop and I download a game or two and I'm set.
Yeah, it's the content just comes in on a weekly basis, and it's a lot of it, like lots of games, tons of stuff drops, and it's almost too much. Yeah, it's so like they've been doing this summer spotlight all summer they've been dropping games almost like daily.
Yep.
At least once a week they're dropping a big jump like this week. Hey Tim, happy birthday. We wanted to shout out to Tim. It's his birthday today. So
happy birthday, Tim.
So happy birthday. Salute. But yeah, no, they've been dropping a ton of content and games, and I think they dropped Carrion. There was a few games.
I downloaded it right away. Haven't had a chance to get down with it, but I downloaded it right away.
That's don't play with kids around for starters. It's pixely bloody, right? But it's also creepy. Like the way it moves around, it just kind of I
can get behind that.
Tentacly through the corridors.
I love this, Vagabond. You're not wrong. But also, as you get closer to drip-fed meals, you begin to prefer drip-fed games. You're right. I mean, there is that, but also everything's drip-fed now in my mind, right? We don't actually get anything finished or done, or everything's drip-fed to us now in this particular industry. Games aren't complete; they're all betas, or if they're not betas, they feel like betas.
One of the big ones that I had mentioned, or the wife and me always have this conversation, is music albums.
Yeah. What about music albums?
Music albums have been doing that a lot more lately. Like they're dropping singles for their upcoming album like 4 months in advance.
Oh, but you'd always get the radio play.
But there was always one single. For example, one of the bands that recently released an album that I was excited for. I mean, they released, I think it was a total of 5 singles before the full album came out. It was like once every 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
The Gorillaz always doing something weird with the way they do things right now. Like they're doing their song machine thing right now, where it's like one track every like.
Run the Jewels dropped their whole album. They were just like F it.
Yeah, right. I mean, Run the Jewels. I like that. Run the Jewels was like, you haven't heard any of this. Boom! Here's the whole
album. Your summer, kaboom! Yes.
Yep.
Run the Jewels is great. Run the Jewels 4, excellent
album. Excellent album.
Don't play with your kids around though.
Do not. Hearing Yankee and the Brave at full blast in my car on the way down, like.
Always good.
Always good.
Oh, wait. So they did pre-release singles. There we go. See, look. There we go. Called out.
Did they? Oh, I didn't know how many they had, because I know that album was practically like finished the night before. Like you could hear. I mean, there's some topical news in a lot of the lyrics of those tracks. So I'm like, when did they finish this? Like this dropped, and
they were just right on top of it.
They were right on top of it. So,
So should we start drip feeding content? Is that what we should start?
I just feel like, Yankee and the Brave was definitely one of the early ones in Ulala, but I hadn't heard Ulala until the actual album came out. But I guess my point is I remember 1 or 2 singles being played on the radio, and then like a whole album would drop. I feel like we're getting too much and for too long. Like we're stretching out the buzz for an album to the point that when the album finally comes out, I've heard half the album, and then the rest of the album is their fluff content. Like it's not their major hits. And then you're like, man, I wish I had heard all of this.
This is a weird problem in a world where you don't have to listen to the whole album anymore. You just
right.
Off of
and that might be it, right? Like
it's a weird problem. Like I know some music folks enjoy listening to the entire album as like a perfect representation of what they were trying to do, and other folks just grab the singles they like and make a mix and move on with their day, right? So
well, it's a little bit of everything, right? Like I think it all relates
to about everything, Sibling Streamer, right? That's what it's all about.
That's all it's all about. But again, content, that drip-fed content is coming out like this, and we talk about this in games all the time, right? Like we get these like early access games or beta release. I mean, what was it? Fortnite finally got out of beta last week. Or was it when
like 3 years? I feel like, but yeah, just
they were like,
out of beta. Yeah, and like really, no one cared because they were like, "Well, we've been playing your game for 2 years."
Right, but now they removed that beta tag. What was it? Gmail was in beta for like 5 years before they took the beta tag off of the Gmail logo.
Gmail, yeah, no, that's right.
Yeah. I'm sad. I got good stuff but the thing is it good? Like I guess my argument to this is, sure, I guess that's the way the younger crowd is okay with that like drip feed, but I feel like sometimes it overstretches its welcome to the point that when they finally release their final, like, oh, here it is, it's finally completed, there's crickets. They're
so
like, we've already played that.
Maybe Jordan can bring it up, but I'd like to go back for when Star Wars Mandalorian came out, and we can play a reel of Joe bitching about having to wait a week for every single episode.
No,
right?
what? No. What? Okay.
That's kind of binge it. Why are they making me wait? Why can't we put it?
I'm pretty sure I was okay with the one single week thing. Someone go back to our archive and find if I was against that. I don't know.
I'm teasing. No, there are some things we really enjoy and want to get and consume right away, and then some stuff, folks don't want a drip feed, right? You want it all, and then there are things you're okay with the good stuff, right? You leave with the good stuff.
I talk about this. The Gorillaz is definitely one of them. Everyone knows the top 40 songs. Everyone knows the ones that play on the radio, feel good and all that. But I like the bangers for me are the ones that like no one knows. And I'm not trying to sound like, well, you don't know the B-sides or the G-sides. No. But honestly, there's some great songs that don't get played on the radio because you're right. It's the weird stuff. It's the eclectic stuff, not the pop stuff, not meant for the common consumption. So sure.
So you weren't down with the Taylor Swift? Is that what you? Because
who?
Taylor Swift, she dropped her whole album. You weren't there for that. You were there for that. I was there for that. That's good stuff. Come on, man. There's nothing better than a good pop music album, Joe. Nothing better.
Tay is not mine. Not my jam. Not my jam.
Fair enough.
I am okay with the fact that she like pissed off the entire like country community because everyone thought she was going to be the next country darling, and then she was like, "No, I'm a pop star," and it's like, oh,
wait, isn't country pop music? I don't understand.
Oh, shots fired there too. The Afro deep cut man, yeah. You take that back. Do not shed my secrets. Sir,
even on your birthday, on this day, your birthday, you're gonna come at us with that.
The day of my
ridiculous.
She is not country, Adam. I don't know. No, maybe she might drop one song. No.
All right, it's not country.
All right, so
you heard it here first.
So again, the Xbox kerfuffle that came out, I enjoyed it. I went in with no expectations in the sense that I was like, I'm going to get to see some games. Apparently, people are looking for certain type, like everyone wants gameplay, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
it's about ethics and game journalism.
Right.
I didn't want to laugh after I said it. I did it. I tried to keep a straight face.
Oh my god! Yikes! Just so
listen. People want gameplay because I guess like some people got hurt by not seeing real gameplay.
I don't know. I thought everything was an engine. I mean,
we like trailers.
If you are one of the people that actually believe that everything you saw on that Sony reel was all gameplay, I've got a couple bridges to sell you, sir.
But don't we do this every time?
We do this every time. And it's like all of a sudden, like everything is like,
oh, how could they lie to us? How could things change in 3 years of development?
It's called marketing.
Yeah. Which is part of the drip feed strategy, for the record, right? That's just
marketing. It is. So again, the theme of the show, I guess, is that drip feed, right? So this year we didn't get an E3 back in June with everything just dropping. Boom, just big old megaton of information. We've been getting this slow drip from Microsoft since like last E3. They were like, oh, by the way, Project Scarlet. And they were like, what? It's like, that's our new Xbox. What? And then they named it Xbox Series 1X. Here's the system. Here's the insides of the system.
Yep.
Here's a couple games that are come out. By the way, early smart delivery system. If you buy a game now, you'll get the Xbox Series X version later. They have been telling you from a year ago that we are a service.
Yep.
So why the media is making a big deal about, oh, they lost the game. I mean, the big giant, like if you go
because if you're not reporting a horse race, what's there to report, right?
Right.
You got to report the horse race. So who's winning, who's losing, the console war has been the easiest games journalism forever.
I think the sad part is people still think there's a war.
Yeah.
There is no war.
The challenge is that if there was a war, who cares who won, right? As long as we get good games, right? That's really what it's about. And then eventually you want
Look,
companies competing because
I did talk to a buddy and he said something that was pretty interesting, and it was like a lot of people can't afford to buy all 3 systems, so they really want to back the winner and want to make sure that they don't feel like they lost by choosing or backing a specific horse, right?
Well, this is the opportunity cost. This is the same thing with like D&D, for example. Everyone knows how to play D&D. So if you go for the little indie game, it's hard. It's hard to commit to that little indie game because you've already got all of that sunk cost in D&D. You know you can get a group going real fast. You don't have to explain the rules as much. So this is
exactly it right here.
I don't want to lose my Chivos for the Xbox. That's why, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but I just feel like we have talked over and over. I'm literally beating a dead horse in a race here when I talk about.
If there's no war, what am I holding this pitch for? You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't.
I'm so mad.
There's always someone to stab. There's a developer that touched someone inappropriately somewhere. I mean, Ubisoft. But that's what the pitchfork is for.
So, she's just dropping like. That's a lot of big words. No, yeah, you're right. Yeah. Massive tech companies exploiting scarcity to produce hype. That's exactly right. And you know who's really good at this? Nintendo. I'm gonna call out Nintendo. Exploiting scarcity to produce hype. Got to get online for those amiibos. That's the word I was looking for. So yeah.
You know, they haven't released any amiibos lately, man. I'm kind of sad. I'm sad about that.
Well, I mean, there's a freaking COVID crisis going on. They don't want people crowding a Target for an amiibo. Maybe they closed the factory floor. Also, that's the scarcity part, right? That we might need a banner for that. That's the scarcity part. We might need that one up there. That's it, right there. Thank you, sir. And now we've got an Illuminati one. Is that?
Of course we do.
That should only be up for like a 1/10 of a second, though, right?
every time we mention something, like, what's going on? What? Huh? What's that?
I mean, get the aluminum foil
5G? What?
Should come back with the aluminum foil hat. Is what I should bring in, right?
No,
so Xbox moved on. They're fighting in a different battleground, and the battleground they're fighting for is subscriptions. Google tried to fight that one, and they showed up with like plastic knives. So Stadia was not their best attempt, their best foot forward to fight.
They showed up in like ice skating like equipment in the middle of like summer. Like, what's going on, guys? Ready to play some hockey?
Hey, what's up?
We're gonna play some video electronic games here, folks.
Oh, it's so sad.
Oh my god. Microsoft showed up, and I thought they showed up well. What they did is what they promised was to show us games from their own studios. And that's what they did. They bought up 15 different studios over the past few years, and they showed what they were working on.
Why wouldn't they show them all off, right?
And I thought, I think what's interesting is the Sony Studios brand has gotten so much hype that I get it, like Guerrilla Games and Guerrilla Games and Sucker Punch games, which just released a Ghost of I cannot say that. What is that? Tsushima? Anywho, they released all those games. They're great games and they're great studios, but they're just studios with the Sony brand on them, and not all of them have released amazing games. I mean, look, all the hype for Last of Us 2, and apparently no one liked it, or the big percentage of people didn't actually like it. So I think Microsoft, their pedigree, you're right. They have a whole generation of no exclusives. That is one thing that I will say is the Xbox One didn't have console exclusivity with almost any game. Like there was no game.
Gears wasn't exclusive.
I mean, yes, that's theirs, but that's been theirs since before.
Oh, I got you. Like
they didn't release anything new this generation to go, hey, this is what defined the Xbox One timeline. There was no game. As a matter of fact, even the Halo game was pretty mediocre. Like 5 Guardians was meh. So they led this the very beginning. As soon as the Xbox event started, it was Xbox. It was a Halo Infinite showed up, and the gameplay looked great. But I will
Halo game.
It looked great. It looked like they're going back to CE. They're going back to Combat Evolved, very Combat Evolved-esque. The look. I will say though, I'm not worried, but I'm definitely intrigued that Microsoft led with something that didn't look as good as anything that was already out now. Like
So
here
let's talk about that. What are the most talked about games ever? Fortnite. It doesn't look that good.
Right.
It's about gameplay and pulling in the players, right? So I don't.
Right, but this is a game. So I would agree with you on that one only because that's a multiplayer game, right? So like we just want lots of people, lots of let lots of people play all at once. So not everything has to look great. So here, I mean, looking at these, I mean, it doesn't look bad. I mean, it looks absolutely fantastic. That's great in game, but it doesn't look like anything that my Xbox One X can't do right now. Obviously, I'm not an engineer to tell me that I can't, like, oh well, the polygons on this guy's face are
the reflection on the water, right?
Right.
We have on the screen.
I don't know how much I could have not gotten with the new, and apparently that's not going to be the case. You're going to be able to play this on your original Xbox, on your Xbox One. You're going to be able to buy it, and then you'll get an up version through smart delivery. So
wait, I mean, like I've played like 2 Halos in my life. I don't remember them. It really is just like other characters yelling at Master Chief, right? That's pretty much the way the story delivered to you.
I will say that I didn't play 5, so I don't know what's going on in the story, but I know that he's like back, and like he's coming back into this and onto this front for this new war.
Looks gorgeous. This looks like a Halo game. It looks like a Halo.
And it looks like Halo 1 more than anything. Like it's got that, the trees, and you see the actual Halo, the ring, and it looks absolutely great. I just I think if these was a bigger release, which was a pretty you're right. It was a niche game that very niche people played. They banked a lot on it only for it not to get the amount of people to play it.
But it's been around, and they keep improving it. And I guess they did it like numbers, right? They got some big things. It's on there on the Xbox Pass. It's
right. No, absolutely. Again, I'm not saying that Microsoft doesn't know how to make big games. I just think that the way that they release these big games have been interesting. Vagabond, you're right. We saw. I think I was watching it live. A few of the people that are in the chat right now was watching it with me, and we caught some pop in. There was definitely some like environmental textures that came in and out, and I was like, man, that's bold for them to show a build that might have anything like that on one of their biggest.
So like I don't want to call them glitches because that's the wrong term, but like.
It was like that pop-in, right? Like the load didn't come in, like the environment, like they went up, they were going up into a mountain, and you were seeing the environment, and all of a sudden it was like, boop, a whole section of environment popped in.
I got it. Yep.
Like that doesn't look good for your new system if this is playing on the new system when you've got PlayStation going, oh, everything loads because we've got super fast SSD.
Everything loads. Is that our fucking bar? Really? Everything loads?
That's the new bar, right? Loading, no loading. That's the new thing.
We've met a minimum standard here in that everything's loading on the screen, folks. What else do you want?
Well, when everything is so good,
good story, gameplay, FU. Everything loaded on the screen.
Everything loaded on the screen. That's right. Yeah. When he's going up the elevator, there's some smoke that just kind of in the distance. He's right. That's exactly, and I caught that. Does it crash or require 31 gig download? I see you, Street Fighter. No, so it looked great. I'm excited for it. It made me want to go play all the other all the other Halo games again, which, I'm okay with. That sounds good.
Get down. I mean, I'm probably going to buy it. Probably a year after it's been out there. It's probably my.
We saw some great games. I think. We could go through one by one, and I'm not going to. But one of my favorite games that I saw was The Medium.
Okay.
You can pull up that trailer, but The Medium looked really good. I thought that was pretty. The Gunk was another one. Avowed, and Everwild was another one that I really liked a lot.
Like 4 different words. Okay, tell me nothing about what the game's about. So Medium.
Let's play the trailer for the Medium when we get it. But it's this one seems to be a very like you are a medium, like a psychic, and I think you kind of go into an environment and you're like kind of deciphering like maybe a crime.
So you're looking for clues, but not like LA Noire where you're just pixel hunting. It's something a little different.
It's definitely
Whoa.
Yeah, so it starts off with like a ultrasound.
All right.
So this is what they showed, and everyone was like, "Give me gameplay, give me gameplay." I'm like, "This looks great. Like we've always gotten this. I don't understand what more we're looking for here."
Give me gameplay. Oh, I love it. I love it.
Gamers, we're so fickle.
We're so fickle.
The large. I prefer the large. I just got that. Wah wah. Wah wah.
This looks really nice, but what is happening? What is it? Ghosts?
Yeah. I mean,
okay.
It'll kick off in a second. There's going to be like lots of like dual worlds, if I'm not mistaken. Like you're in two separate like universe or planes, like almost like an upside down at the exact same time.
Okay. All right. I see it. Where's the game?
Yeah, this is the older trailer from my understanding. So there's a new trailer, if we could pull that up eventually. But what's great is they show her walking through, and you have to play the game sometimes in like a hallway where there's nothing in front of you. But then you flip over to the like other world, and there's like monsters trying to grab a hold of you or whatnot. I mean, it was really creepy. But so essentially, the game is being rendered twice in the exact same space. So
stuff could be happening in the other world.
Yeah.
Switch back.
So you're holding a flashlight. Yeah.
I feel like what game have I played that way before? This is pretty neat. Okay. All right. I can get behind this.
So it looked like
it is like a Resident Evil style game where you walk around with the light and shine pixels.
Alan Wake. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do remember Alan Wake. I do. All right.
So you pick stuff up, and it's very like, again, there's gameplay. I don't see what's going on here. We got some gameplay.
Oh, sweet baby Jesus! This is a puzzle game. This is great.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, right? Nothing wrong with that. So this is what
sometimes I love a good puzzle game, but also sometimes like if you never find the puzzle, like I just saw them move the picture over, and I'm like, well, if I never found that pixel to move it over, how would I know to move it? And then am I stuck in that room forever? Am I stuck in this puzzle forever? So I don't know. I'm just terrible at these puzzle games sometimes. And I get frustrated. I didn't find anything, so I spend way too long in every room looking in every corner.
So this was another one. I'm going to pull this one
very out. Pretty, the medium. Very pretty.
It looked great. And Everwild looked fantastic. Again, this was a Rare game. So, nice. I mean, this is a company that we haven't gotten much from for years. I mean, they literally bought this company from under Nintendo, who was developing the Donkey Kong Country and all the Donkey Kong.
Look at those water effects.
But only a few.
This looked great to me.
This is great art so far.
It is found in the smallest moments.
That's right. They did do Sea of Thieves as well, and so that's when that was one of their big pushes. But again, it's forgotten, even though it's there. And my kid loves playing it.
This is gorgeous. What is it though?
We don't know.
Oh, there's no indication of what the gameplay is.
It feels like a Avatar, like it's got a little bit of Avatar, The Last Airbender / Breath of the Wild, maybe.
What do I kill, Joe? What do I destroy?
I don't think you do anything. Actually, it's like the opposite. You're like nurturing nature. Like the idea is like you're preserving. It's like almost environmental.
Oh, there we go. All right, Vagabond came in with mystical caretakers of nature.
Yeah.
With the scuttlebutt is that it's sort of like a conservationist take on Monster Hunter. Okay, all right. As in save nature instead of hunt it down. I wonder like how
they show this like animal that's like dying, and they do some like ritual.
We all sense it. But only a few truly feel it.
I wonder how they're going to give that. I'm excited for this one. This will be an interesting game, if only to talk about how it's so different from other games. That's pretty neat.
Yeah,
it feels like a really awesome idea with also gorgeous animation so far. Was any of that gameplay though?
I mean, I don't see why it couldn't be, right?
Sure, it's a trailer to get me intrigued and interested in the game, right? That's what it's all about.
Yeah. We got a new Warhammer 40K title coming.
I haven't played a single Warhammer 40K video game that wasn't trash. I'm sorry. It's a great property. I've got an enormous, I think next to that blue bin, if you look back there, a huge suitcase full of painted Space Marines. But I haven't played any 40K games that were any good.
How dare you? Bud, you're getting shamed on here.
They were all trash. I don't what? Oh wait, are we talking PC? Because I've only played console once. I'm sorry, I've only played console once. Everyone, I've only played console once.
I've reached the term of crime.
Heretic.
Determine the full extent of the unrest.
So this was someone. I saw a tweet from one of the journalists that was like, they left it on the table. They should have called this "Left 40K Dead."
Oh God. Oh, okay. I can get behind this. World War W 40K.
40K Dark Tide.
All right, that looks pretty cool.
Yeah. Again, but that was 2021, so that one isn't coming out immediately, but it's a Series X game and Steam. So that's been the theme, right? Like every game they announced.
Cooperative, I wish I played Space Hulk, the Space Hulk games way back when. I played a few of the Space Marine games, but they didn't capture, I don't know, they never captured the sort of war feeling for me of what the tabletop game was. I think is really what my big complaint was regarding that. But it looks beautiful, and it looked like it had 4 players, which I'm excited for. Right, it might have some cooperative.
Yeah, I think it's going to be like kind of like from what I'm seeing. I'm guessing again, maybe a Left 4 Dead look.
Yeah, how is it not like?
So this is again
Gears of War skinned as 40K though. That's what I'm worried about.
Vermintide in space is what someone said.
Yeah.
So this is supposed to be based in the SteamWorld games. No one knows if it's tied together or not, like it's part of the same universe. But this one is called The Gunk, and this was another game announced. And again, this looks very similar to a Sony game, like the Ratchet and Clank series, and that's, I guess my point is I'm pulling all these trailers out because a lot of the people were so disappointed. Like, oh, nothing sucked. They didn't show anything. I'm like, but this is exactly what Sony showed.
Gamers, I mean, you get more clicks if you bitch, right?
Right? Is that it?
Sorry, I shouldn't say that. You get more clicks if you complain. So being like there was no gameplay in the announcements will get you more clicks, right? So
this looks like gameplay to me. I mean, do they want a HUD? I mean, do they want a HUD? I mean, do they want someone?
They want the game. They want the game. That's what they want. They want the game. 4 hours of gameplay coverage is what they want. This looks great. Hugs, not HUDs.
Hugs, not HUDs. Thank you.
We're with you. That looked cool. A little puzzle game. I can get behind this. Cleaning up the gunk. And the best content is in the comments, everyone. I'm gonna.
We don't have to do anything, man.
No, I don't. It's just raising up voices here.
Again, smart delivery. That is a game that you could buy. That's probably going to come out earlier than the Xbox Series One, which is interesting to me. Again, I don't know what that's taking from people. Like people, I guess they want this like load of games that they can only play on one system. And here's this again service that Microsoft is going, hey, by the way, all these games, we're going to release them for just Xbox.
Yeah. And then you can play them on your original Xbox, get halfway through, pick up the new Xbox. Oh, I never beat Gunk. You go back and you play it on your new Xbox. You don't have to switch back and forth. This is actually great. This is good news for me.
I think so too. We did get where is it? Where is it?
And there's also the cross-platform play, right? So you can play it on your PC or and all that good stuff, right?
Right.
So
which allows people that might not own an Xbox, but they own maybe a gaming PC to just hop on and pay for the Xbox service and get that game.
Yep, way more consumer friendly. I mean, it's still capitalism, but yeah, way more consumer friendly. And that they want you to play everywhere you can. Why have the console is the big question. Thank you, Vagabond. The question remains, why have the console? Because, I guess you need to have, you can't give up that front maybe, or maybe PlayStation doesn't want your service on there. I don't know. It's an entry point is what my thought was. It's an entry point, right?
I think it's interesting, but I think it's the service, right? Game Pass seems to be what they're selling. This is all about Game Pass. Buy Game Pass, every single one of these games shown you get on day one.
Oh, is that
yes?
Oh, great. Then I don't even have to.
Every one of these games you're going to get to play.
I don't have to bookmark any pages. I can literally just shop on a Sunday and pick up my games. This is my dream. This is the way I like to buy things. So I'm all
right. This is exactly it. This is exactly
at least till 2022, as my Xbox Pass is paid up till then. Is everyone else
right
for another 2 years? I know I am.
This was another great trailer shown, and I thought it was fantastic to see.
Oh, okay, all right.
Double Fine, 20 years of Double Fine. I mean, and it's now part of the Xbox home. This is one of their studios now.
Probably been a long time since you've had a visitor.
And this is Psychonauts 2. If you're not, if you did play Psychonauts 1, right?
Nope.
Really?
That was like an Xbox game, right? I didn't have an Xbox.
It was on PC too, but yes, on Xbox. But I think it's on Game Pass. I think you can pick it up on Game Pass, and it's a great platformer. It has been, but I think they've been waiting. I think it's been one of these. This is one of those things. A long time, development for this game. They got Jack Black to play a voice, so he's singing right now. Of course they did because of what was it? Double Fine did Brutal Legend.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so that was the Jack Black guitar game.
So for those of us who weren't playing video games 10 years ago, what is this? Why is this an important?
It's a platformer. It's a great game. The original Psychonauts was a great, people say, oh, Xbox or just in general doesn't have any mascot style games to really call its own other than Master Chief. And yes, Psychonauts came out on PC, but it was an Xbox game, and now it is part of the Microsoft brand. So here we go. We've got a fantastic looking mascot game for them.
But is it like a Super Mario?
Yeah, it's a 3D platformer, right?
Collect the dragon,
a Banjo-Kazooie.
Okay, right.
Pick up stuff, unlock this, move on to the next section of the level.
A truly funny game. Okay.
Yep. This game is like a big old acid trip from what I'm seeing.
Yeah, I'm looking at this particular trailer. I'm like, this looks too smart for its own good. I don't know that I want to play it, but yeah,
That's
I'm
Tim Schafer for you.
This is indulgent. So we're excited for the Xbox. We're totally down with it.
Yep, all these games will be there day one. I mean, I think the biggest takeaway I can say is I got to watch this event, and I was like, I'm paid up till 2021 on my Game Pass. That means all these games I'm getting. What's the hate? If I don't want to play it, I don't play it. If I want to play it, I'll just try it out. I don't.
There's hundreds of other games coming out at the same time that I could play as well.
I don't have to spend $60 or $70 as they're saying that apparently the next gen games are going up to. So what does it matter? I got an Xbox. I just get it for free, or free because I paid for a subscription.
Yeah, and you've paid for it, and you probably played a bunch of games in the meantime, and you're good. So yeah.
There we go. So I'm excited. I thought it was a good event. I mean, I'll talk more about it tomorrow. We'll get to tear it down and kind of compare it to the Sony world. But all in all, I think it's two different things. And Sony is playing an old game, and everyone's moved on, and they're sitting there. It's like that meme where they've got that one guy with the medal. It's like, yeah, I won, and in reality, he's on the third place step.
Oh.
Everyone's kind of
or they're just. I mean, they're perhaps just marketing towards a different kind of player, right? We'll see how it plays out, right?
Yeah.
But the PlayStation could be for the folks who care about the gigaflops, and the folks like us who'd rather let Xbox manage our game life because that's really what I'm doing, right?
Yeah, it is a walled garden in a way.
Yeah,
like you're just kind of like you hop in, you pay your service, you get the game you're going to get.
And I look at like Last of Us, and I'm like, oh, I'm sad I won't be able to play that, but I've got these hundreds of other games I can play, so I move on, right? That's really what happens.
And or you can be like me and be like, I'm not going to play it, even though I do have the system.
I read all the reviews and all the spoilers, and I'm like, it's not the game for me, is what I've discovered. Might have bought it day one if I had the PlayStation, but after reading all the reviews, it wasn't for me.
It wasn't for me.
So I want to make sure we give you enough time to talk about this. So we want to talk about the big thing, there it goes right there. Because I know this is your
it's my jam, but like
your jam. I've had many a text rant appear on my phone virtually regarding this. So yeah, go ahead. Massive Nintendo leak reveals early Mario.
Right. So this is we talked about this before. Mm-hmm. We talked about this on another episode where the first kind of bit of information had been leaked regarding like the schematics and the actual source for the N64 and the basically you could everything, all the schematics you need to make an N64 and a GameCube, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was the Brought-On, and Brought-On was one of the companies that helped make the chip, the AMD chip. The security of the chip, and that is apparently where the leak happened. The company Brought-On servers were hacked, like I want to say like 8 years ago, and about 2 terabytes worth of data was stolen, and the person that stole it handed it off to certain groups.
Sure.
Before he was caught, and then promptly fined and sent to jail.
Sure.
So the individual that did this apparently didn't even know what he stole. He just stole a bunch of stuff. And it's been taking that long to kind of parse through it and kind of putting it all together. And the information that has been leaked has been kind of monumental. And when you look back at a lot of our like gaming childhood, the information that has been leaked is source code for these games, entire source codes, like early development builds. We're talking about the entire source code to Ocarina of Time, the entire source code to Mario 64, source codes for a lot of Super Nintendo games. I mean, just tons of stuff.
Just to make sure, it's source code for games that are 20 years old.
Yes. But
5 years old.
You and I both know that Nintendo still makes money off of some of this stuff by like either
or don't, right? They just don't even release it again. No one
or don't even release it again for sure. And you're right. So on one hand, this is exciting. It's exciting for any Nintendo fan to kind of see all of this stuff, see games. I mean,
this is a revolutionary liberation of historical documents, right? This is
right. Nintendo is very vault specific. Like what you don't see, you never see any leaks from Nintendo. You never see behind the scenes. The version you get of a game is very definitive, the version that you got, because that is what the developers wanted to give you. And when you see this and you see kind of like the dirty laundry behind the scenes, you see games like Star Fox that apparently had a black female pilot.
Oh, I had no idea.
That was removed. All sorts of stuff.
Was it removed like because of an Ubisoft conversation where they're like, we can't have women in the...
They're too hard to program for.
It's
too hard to program.
It's too hard to program for. We shouldn't sell the women.
Yeah, that's what happens. I mean, we can list. There's lots of stuff, but the big keynotes here were one. Luigi was completely removed from, or I guess not even removed, was planned to be in Mario 64. One of the big monumental games that started the 3 platforming movement didn't get one of its monumental characters. I mean, Luigi, it's his brother, second player, whatever you want to call it. He was supposed to be in the game. So they found source code with the model, audio files, textures, everything there to kind of build them back together. And what did the hackers do is they took that source and they put him back in. And sure enough, there he is. I mean, he's moving around. There he is in Mario 64, which is, again,
rise from your grave. Like,
right. Right. There he is.
I guess justice for Luigi, maybe. I don't know. This is a weird. Was he cut out for space? Like back then, you had to worry about space considerations.
Yeah, it was in space. Maybe they couldn't figure out a way to kind of add them gameplay wise. Maybe they didn't know how to add a second player mode to the game, so they were like, let's scrap them. But his files were all there.
No respect for Luigi. They made up for it by giving him that Ghost game, right? That's what.
Right. So he eventually got.
Hey Luigi, you're gonna get cut out of this one, but we'll give you something later. Don't worry about it.
Apparently, they found information on a canceled Pokemon MMO.
Oh, that would have been
right. So it's like things that people wanted, and now you didn't realize that Nintendo was actually working on. You know, that stuff that people ask for over and over again. And
are you talking about Pokemon Go? Because that is not an MMO. I want to make that clear. What are we talking about here? We have that already for free. Yeah. Poke MMO.
What is this? What is this? My producer pulling up some bootleg Pokemon, some Pokemon.
We need to throw up a technical service and beat this guy up. What is this Poke MMO? This doesn't look legit. For the record, it does not look legit.
Seems legit, bro.
It's the kind of thing you might get banned for.
This is the kind of thing. All the Pokemon look slightly off, so that Nintendo doesn't come down with them with a fiery fury.
The important thing is that it's free to play, is what our producer is saying.
Yeah.
He also works for free. That's why we get this quality coverage here.
This is like the altruistic people that are doing the what is it? Star Wars Galaxy.
It is multiplayer. It is online. You're right. It doesn't have the Nintendo stamp on it, which is the important part, right?
Which is the important part. But I mean, like, this could be a fan, with much love, like the Star Wars Galaxies people. They treat all of their fans with respect.
Star Wars. That's right.
That's
So
right.
we're mentioning this because Sibling Streamer, which is on before us at 8.
If you didn't catch if you didn't catch what happened last week,
we talked about one half of that duo banned.
They banned him from a free version of the game.
Banned. So now they have
this is why you have games that are dead, and then someone takes the source and then releases it again so that people could play for free, and then they banned someone from it because apparently they didn't have a legit second copy of a game that was just a disc, and the only thing you used on that disc was the key, but they have no way to authenticate a key.
I want to be clear here. Joe was not the one banned, but he is angry of the banning, for the record. I'm over here laughing because I'm like, how do you get banned from a 20-year-old game? Oh, okay, this is how
she was not happy. So again, I want to just reemphasize this. She was banned from a game that isn't legitly being run anymore. It is run by a fan community, and they banned him because her and her husband were playing two different characters from one IP, and they banned him because they couldn't prove they had two legit copies of a game that is no longer sold. And the only way you would have to show either you have two discs or you have two keys, but they have no authentication servers for those keys.
Hey man, they need to maintain the economy of Star Wars Galaxy. That's what you have to do. It's important. Fan moderation is a train wreck, no matter the context, right? Yes, I'm with you, Pergamene. You've got to nip that in the bud right away.
She had to take a picture with all the discs and two players and their info to verify. And then she did that, and they didn't believe her.
No.
We tried to Photoshop.
No, there was some light piracy and perhaps a smidge of fraud attempted. And
what does it matter? It's a dead game. Even if so apparently their entire their economy was like, oh well, if you don't have a second copy of the game, you can go on eBay and buy another copy of the game. So you give inflated amount of money to some person who already bought the game, and the money that you're giving doesn't even go to the developers in any way, shape, or form.
And I wonder how big their I wonder how many of their players actually. Oh, now we're just besmirching. We're besmirching the sibling streamer's name. They play old school games 8 to 9 o'clock. They've done some good things. I think they did Super Mario 64 for a while, or one of the Super Mario games. I don't know which one. I wasn't around for the Nintendo era, but they're awesome, brother sister.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you.
But we're trying to get better, and that's part of the Mid-Geek crisis, right?
It's about integrity and journalism and gaming.
We got rid of purity and gatekeeping, and we're just going to keep the authenticity, right? That's we're just going to keep it authentic here. Purity and gatekeeping can go, but we're going to stay authentic. That's what it's all about.
So this leak, more things that leaked: prototype Yoshi's Island, Super Donkey Kong, apparently, like another Donkey Kong game that was going to happen. A prototype for Mario Kart and Mario Kart 64, canceled Zelda 3 and Zelda 2 remakes. I mean, this is you gotta check this out. That is like the artwork for a game that never happened.
Looks great. He looks like a Smurf.
Doesn't he? He looks kind of interesting. Like those are scrap sprites for a Zelda 3 scratch pad.
That looks cool.
I mean, I could.
The weird thing is that like part of this is there's I guess all of us fans of video games are probably torn here. I know I am. Part of me is like, this information should be out there, both to inspire new gamers, new designers, to serve the lessons, the historical documents of a time period that not many people know about, right? Especially in Nintendo, which is a very secretive organization when it comes to this sort of stuff. And also it's theft, right? There's like
it's theft. It's intellectual property theft. And here's the thing.
It's theft. I don't know. Yeah.
It's two sides to a coin that are very delicious.
But now it can be preserved, right?
Right now, someone can grab it. It goes online. It'll now be shared over and over again.
And people can be. Creation is fostered from this moment of theft, right? People can take this stuff and make things.
This is actually a sprite of what Yoshi could have looked like at one point.
Oh my gosh, I can almost hear the voice of this thing, right?
Skinny Yoshi. So I bring this up. This is Dylan Cuthbert. He's one of the developers for Star Fox. Okay. And when this news was coming out, like minutes after, like people started reaching out to people, looking through the files, and he immediately found, he's like, WTF, I haven't seen this tool I made for Star Fox 2 for myself. He made this tool for himself.
Mm-hmm.
So he could teach himself the language. Where the hell did the hackers get all this obscure data from? Like, this is something that he might not have even backed up on his own computer, and somehow or another, these hackers got it.
Well, I mean, to be fair, we weren't as diligent 30 years ago with all this.
Right? No, right? I get it. Like, you don't have to defend anything with me. I get this. This is completely mind blowing to me. It's scary though. Could you imagine, as an artist or a writer, writing something on your own computer, and then like 15 years later, 20 years later, 25 years later, someone goes, hey, look, I found these old text files. Where? Like, I didn't even, there was no internet. Like, there was no mass internet back 25 years ago. So, I mean, you could see that this was a DOS tool. It's being run in DOSBox. So where did this tool get uploaded to? When? How? What happened here? Like, what is the trail?
They just moved it from drive. There's some sad sap that all he did for his job was just move data from one old drive to a new drive for 20 plus years.
Right. Like this is a good one. This is why writers and authors often want their notes and unpublished stuff destroyed, because they don't want, like, you don't know what you're writing. Sometimes you're in a state of mind where you might not be what you want your fans to see you as, and then all of a sudden you're like, so this is it. This is exactly that. So it's airing dirty laundry. It's airing all of the weirdness. But the fun side is you get to see stuff like, hey, look, here's this random sheep character that never appeared in the game. More female characters. At one point, and again, I could scroll through, reading through all this stuff. Like, here's a good one. Here's a good example. Also, there's this within the Star Fox 2 source code. Care to explain why no one liked Pete inside of the source code to fuck with Pete's code? And everyone loved Pete, so it's a bit weird to me to take stuff out of content and create drama where there was none.
I like that the guy did a search for fuck though. That's
right.
Like, oh, I've got all this stolen information. Fuck. Let's find that first. going on. Let's get the good juices. So
random. I mean, so what's great about this whole thread is you have Dylan, who is one of the creators, answering all these like questions as people like dig through. What's this? What's this? This old chicken bone? Where'd this come from? Did you eat this that day? What's going on? And he's
how
like,
did you throw out this chicken bone?
I know. Yeah, he's like, I'm like, they're asking him these questions on like these files. They're labeled heaven and hell. What does that mean? And he's like, no idea. I wasn't even on the Star Fox 2 team except for a bit at the beginning. Like, he doesn't know. Like, why are you asking me all this? It's nuts. It's weird. It's nuts. You get to see all these files. No idea. Like, he has no idea, but it's like he was the master of 3D modeling back in the day. But again, he mentioned something that it's like, well, except that it's a huge intellectual property breach. I mean, hackers have gotten a hold of stuff that's Nintendo's private property, and some of it's kind of my private property too. Now, if they could find the source code for this one game, I wouldn't mind seeing that again. So,
like that's right there.
It's double-sided, right? Even he himself, he's like, "This is weird."
It's really sad. But like, can you organize it and find the stuff that I want? Like, I love it. I love it back, right? Like, someone went through your old garage or your parents' attic, right? You're like, look at
that's exactly it, man. That's the best way. It's like an episode of Hoarders in a way,
yeah.
where someone goes in and you're like, "Don't touch that! Don't touch that! Don't touch that!" And then all of a sudden they're like, "Where did you find that? I've been looking for that for years." And I'm like, "Well, it's because we have a different eye than you." It's interesting.
So I just. We're both trying to put it up because I love it. So all this effort digging old crap, right? You could just make a new game. Yes, but also it's important to look at the historical documents, right? It's inspiring, I think, to look at old games and and how old writers worked and old authors work. And I know they like to destroy their stuff because they're embarrassed by it, but they shouldn't be.
Yes.
They should inspire. With that information. So there's like that tweet, that guy tweeting back to all of that stuff, I think inspires other people to dig deeper, to think about what they were thinking about, to put their head in the mindset of a designer creating. And why would they type "fuck Pete," right? That's it. I typed that today, right? So like that's a great I don't know. It's a great thing. Archival work is important. As Adam DJ says it. And the ethics is weird though, right? This is Indiana Jones ethics. This is like, I stole it to preserve it. It belongs in a museum, but maybe Indiana Jones was kind of not really like great at doing that kind of stuff, right? So this is the way you should do it.
So here's a great one. Someone asked him, "How do you feel about this being leaked?" And he goes, "It's private stuff, so it feels intrusive. Source code is hours and hours, years and years of personal work, long hours, sweat and tears. And on one side of the coin, it feels weird, but now it's also like, it's also vindicating to see all of this work done by somebody, and it's out there now." Mm-hmm. I think it's two sides of it. People have been asking the big question of this leak: will this hurt Nintendo? No. No. Nintendo's already made their money, and not only will they continue making money with all this stuff, if they remaster something, if they re-release it, you're still going to buy it.
They might make more money because of it.
Right. They're going to make more money. And not only that is, I think this kind of stuff inspires junior coders out there to kind of dig through that and go, "Hey, let me play around with actual Nintendo code. See if I can recompile it. See if I can make it. See if I can make my own game with it. I won't release it because it's illegal, but hey, let me see if I can play around with it and do something fun with it." And that's cool. I mean, look, John Carmack, creator of Doom, one of the most amazing games released. I mean, it started a whole style of gameplay. He releases his source code for that reason, because he wants people to go, "Here's my code, go at it, do whatever you want with it." And what has happened is, how many games did we not get because of that? How many offshoots or games using the Doom engine, using that, all these mods, I mean, Team Fortress 2. Fortress 2, one of the biggest like team co-op games, was a mod for Half-Life, which was based off of the Quake 2 engine, which wouldn't have never happened if the Quake 2 code had never been released.
Yes, all of these things I agree with. There are proper ways to release code.
Right. But the problem is Nintendo. This is like Nintendo
I don't ever want to be put in a position to defend a corporate entity like Nintendo, though. So you know what?
Right.
Hack the world.
Hack the world. Hack the planet. Hack the planet. No, I get it. Nintendo is kind of like Disney, right? Like they keep everything very close to the chest. They will sue the pants off of you.
You mean evil mega corporation?
Evil mega corporation.
People?
Yes. All of that. But their properties are world renowned. Mickey Mouse, Mario. One can even say that Mario might be bigger than Mickey now.
Oh, dude. Why would you say that at the end of our stream? Why would
let's say the mouse is big because he's a logo, but Mario is like the face of an entire
it's so controversial.
Is it? I mean, do you disagree?
Yes, because I'm American and Mickey Mouse will kick the shit out of Mario. I don't really. This isn't controversial. It's just wrong.
Interesting. Yeah. This is interesting. Mario is world. I mean, everybody. It doesn't matter what country you put a picture of Mario up, and everyone knows who he is. Same thing with Mickey. I just think they're either on the same level, but Mickey also hasn't really done much lately, and Mario keeps releasing new games. And he's always
hasn't done much lately. Were you not around when he bought fucking Star Wars?
That's the name, Disney. The company name isn't Mickey Mouse; it's Disney. I'm just saying, it's not. It's not.
Well, there we go.
I don't play train wrecks.
Kingdom Hearts 3, bud.
Kingdom Hearts 3. What is that? I'm waiting for Mix 2 and Knuckles. You know, I'm waiting for the 365 Drop Dream edition with.
Here's the deal. This has been a great show. I love it. I'm gonna go out on Vagabond Dog here. I'm actually wrong. So many times in one episode. You know what, Vagabond? As a fan of the show, you know that he's been so wrong across 86 episodes.
I'm gonna say, come at me, bro. Come at me. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode 86 of the Mid-Geek Crisis. Again, my name is
Thanks for jumping on, all the folks.
Yeah. I think there's no better way to end it than dropping a hot take like that. That's saying that if it was in a battle, I'd pick Mario.
I know you would. That's obvious.
I won't reveal my Mario tattoo on my chest. That won't be till episode 100. But
we all know it's not on your chest.
Yeah, you're right. It's not. It is not.
All right, folks. This has been the Mid-Geek Crisis. We are on Tuesdays at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Also catch Brother Sister Coin Out Collective Friends. They are on 8 o'clock to about 9 o'clock, or 8:30 to 9 o'clock on
Eastern Standard Time.
Eastern Standard Time as well. The only time that matters, for the record. But thanks for jumping on. Be kind, everyone. Be safe. Be awesome to each other.
Be awesome. Take care, everyone.